Yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness. Come on, let's go. I tell you, there's the vibes. Beautiful people. Yo, welcome to the show. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we roll. It's on in the building. Massive week ahead. Of course, let's do this. It's Monday Sport Review Show. You're welcome to the show, people. Smash it like on the video. Let's move on. Let's do this. It's on. Oh my goodness, I'm in the spirit. Massive. If you're watching this for the first time, this is INTERCONTINENTAL SPORTS TV. The Dawn is what they call me. The Dawn of Sport Entertainment. The Dawn in the building. I tell you, this is all we got today. The talking point. The game week 23 for EPL. We're doing this. It's all about it. I tell you. Gonna be massive. The result for the week. I tell you, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this. The Champions League is back. It's back. Europa. Manchester United is back on this. Arsenal is also back. I tell you, it's gonna be loud tonight. I have in the studio the great people. Your video rights in the building. Robbie is also in the building. I tell you, Prof is also in the building. Kunle is also coming in right now. But let's do this, people. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. It's going to be loud. But let me tell you, people. This is going to come up anytime soon. One of the greatest vibes. The greatest individual. Boy. I call her Euphoria. We'll start up any moment. ISTV, we call it ISTV Sports. Okay, this big. It's Euphoria. It's gonna be loud. Beautiful. She's set. She's ready. I tell you, people. Let's do this. Robbie, talk to me. What's going on, bro? How you feeling? Manchester United won over the weekend. Talk to me.
Well, I think it was a good one for Manchester United over the weekend. Good evening to you. Good evening to the guys right there in the background. A wonderful weekend, I must confess. And of course, it was filled with a lot of twists and turns. Like I tweeted today that Arsenal and of course Chelsea will have a lot to talk about. Should they not be able to get to the promised land based on the VAR calls that did not go their way by the course of the weekend. Chelsea had a penalty that was denied to them. Arsenal also had a goal that should not have been given. Yes, it's a stonewall penalty. Any day of the week, any month of the year, it's a penalty.
So come here to say it's a penalty. I would disagree with Prof. Prof, talk to me. You're welcome to the show. Prof.
It's so exciting to be here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening,
welcome,
Robbie and the boys. It's good to be here this evening. It was a wonderful weekend of football, across the top 5 leagues, and we enjoyed. We saw some very, very good games, exciting as usual. But what can we do? It's a nice evening to talk about football. I'm happy to be here again.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Kunle, talk to me. You are live. Kunle, what's going on? How was your weekend? Fantastic to have you.
Yeah.
Was that a penalty?
Which one?
The one where this guy they talk now say penalty. That Chelsea won.
Chelsea. See
Prof.
me. As far as officiating is concerned, I've learned to accept each calls because no matter how much we cry over these.
Was that a penalty? Leave officiating. Was that a penalty or no penalty?
That is. Look, I am not. I've already said I am not. I've decided a long time ago that I am never going to Never going to.
The question is just asking about your own opinion. Leave the referee. They've officiated. Yes, it's gone. Was that a
And I
penalty?
am giving you my stance that I am not going to be giving my views on whether penalties, because it's not going to reverse. Whether this is something that we can start dragging all week. We've been in this situation over and over again regarding different things, but nothing seems to change. They keep reoccurring. So I mean, it's something that I personally said that I will not debate on whatever refereeing decisions they give. So be it. We move on.
All right, we move on. Let's move on. And we are moving on to this. My main man, Ehis, is also in the building. Ehis is he's still fuming. He's still fuming about the officiation of Arsenal. On this note, going forward, you're welcome to the show. Ehis, talk to me. You're live, bro. Your name is today. It's called Bravo Lee Mason. What's going on? Where do you get that name from, bro?
It's good to be on. It's good for, I don't know, muttering my words, man. But it's good to be on the show today. So here it is. If I were to be a solution architect that is managing the server of a renowned bank out there, managing people's funds, and on the weekend, I come to tell the owners of the bank to say, I forgot to turn on the security features of your server. Therefore, your money is gone. Would I still be entitled to be a staff of the organization?
Never.
Or if I were to be a consultant, would I still be a consultant consulting for such organization?
Never.
So like I said, in the inscription of my name, Bravo Lee Mason, you have done well. Bravo.
You're welcome. Bravo Lee Mason is welcome to the show. Last man standing, Ira, talk to me. What's going to happen to Liverpool tonight? It's a night, Messiah. Talk to me. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Didon. It's good to be here. Amazing round of fixtures over the weekend. Lots of talking points, which is very, very interesting. And also looking forward to today's match. We are now a body less with Thiago's injury. Wow. So I wouldn't say I'm expecting a lot going into today's derby, honestly. But I mean, it's Anfield, and Anfield always has the fear factor. So I expect us to put up a fight. But it's going to be a great game, regardless, and I'm looking forward to the match.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Let me get straight into this. People, the talking points over the weekend, game 23. West Ham. Welcome, Chelsea. And the scoreline, you all see it, 1-1. Arsenal 1-1. Brighton, Crystal Palace 1-1. Only Fulham with 2-0 over Nottingham Forest. Look at that, Leicester City. What are we going to do about Spurs? Dakudaji team. I don't know. Leicester 4, Spurs 1. Southampton losing to Wolves. I think they've sacked the coach. I think so, yeah. Southampton coach. I think he has been sacked. Yes, let's move on to Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Newcastle in the mud as well too. Is still 1-1 over the weekend. The sweet Manchester United going all the way to Leeds United. Beat them silly. Goals coming in from the doctor himself and also that guy, that 18 years old, where people are bashing over the week last week. Now coming in with a good scoreline. Making his account, and also Man City. Beware of Man City. Arsenal, we're going to talk about it. Beware, they are back in the building. I tell you guys, it's been loaded. But first, let's review the game. Chelsea versus West Ham. I'm going to start with you, Prof. Talk to me. What happened in that match? People want to hear you. What really happened in that match?
First of all, the lineup came out, and it was exactly what I was expecting the manager to put out. Obviously Chelsea, they splashed the cash. There are a lot of incomings from abroad, and it's very difficult for them to gel at once in the Chelsea team. So it was always going to take time. And so when I saw the team sheet, I was a little bit confident that Joao Felix, who had a 3-match ban, returned to the starting lineup, and that was That was a positive. I knew that they would give us a spark in the attack. The game started. Chelsea created a lot for the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They were all over West Ham, creating lots of chances. Joao Felix was sparkling and all that. We had two goals ruled out of the opposition net for offside, and then Enzo Fernandez combined with Cucurella with a true ball to Joao Felix, beautiful goal, and then we had the first goal. And for some Juris James and Madueke, they slept and allowed West Ham back in the game, but it was a good game overall until the dying minutes when Chelsea had a goal. Chelsea had a shot by Gallagher, and Thomas Suchek, dived and put the ball out with his hand. The referee didn't see it, and it didn't go to VR enough. And I felt like it was a huge error in the game because it cost us 3 points. Amongst all our officiating in the Premier League, that's been very terrible over the weekend. Something that just struck me at the game was Graham Potter's body language at the end of the game when he was being asked. I didn't see that fight enough in him. I didn't see him challenging the decision. Graham Potter is a very, very he's a very simple person. He doesn't go over the top. He's a nice guy. And one thing with Chelsea fans over the years is we've not been used to managers that are nice guys. We've had Jose Mourinho. I can guarantee you that if it was Jose Mourinho that happened to, it would have totally deflected the game to the referee, put the pressure back on the VAR, and that's how you do it. That's how top managers behave. I'm not saying you don't have it. You can't have your own style. He has his own style. But look at Alex Ferguson. These sort of managers, Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho, they will challenge it. But also you can look at the likes of Arsene Wenger, who earlier in his days when he came to us now, he was a very, he was a nice man. He doesn't have issues with the media so much like that, or with the referees or things like that. You can also win with that. So I'm going to give Graham Potter the benefit of doubt that is his own personality and that's how he has chosen to manage. But the Chelsea fans, looking at over the years, we've been spoiled with managers who are very, very, a little bit aggressive on the touchline, the likes of Antonio Conte, Thomas Tuchel, Jose Mourinho, and things like that. So we expect Potter to challenge. When the media asked him about the decision, he said, well, it was a good dive by Thomas Tuchel, but then if the ref doesn't see it, he doesn't see it, it can go either ways. It was too diplomatic for me. That's one thing I pointed out from the game. For him, I think he can be more feisty, he can be more hungrier. He has to show the Chelsea fans that he cares as much, also, yeah. And then Cucurella also had a very bad game. I thought he was poor. I thought he didn't combine properly with Modric on the left. When Ben Chilwell came in, Ben Chilwell was more positive. He stretched the team, created chances, and I see Chilwell starting the game against the Champions League game against Borussia Dortmund in a couple of days' time. So yeah, all in all, I would say Chelsea, I can see improvements, no doubt about it. There are improvements on the pitch. It's a slow and steady process. It's going to be football naivety to think that all this money spent will just click once. Like I've said over the time, it's not PlayStation. They have to train together. They have to understand. They have to form relationships in different parts of the pitch. The right back has to understand his wingers. The winger has to understand the defense. The midfielder has to understand. There have to be relationships formed, and that doesn't happen overnight. But it will come. I guarantee it will come. And obviously the striker as well. I think Chelsea needs a striker. Havertz is not a striker. It's not a Chelsea striker, and I'm sure they will go get one. So it was a good game.
It was a good game. Chelsea people have started saying something about their manager. I think Robbie said that they will eat their manager for dinner. Robbie. Oh, Chelsea, the board, I tell you, the can't even score. Is a big deal. But Irate, what do you want to say about this this far? I mean, Vice messing up. It's really messing.
We can't say VAR is messing up. It's the clowns that are behind VAR. VAR has been used in other sports and other leagues, but there's something about the Premier League that it's very infuriating and has been happening over the years. The standard of refereeing, in as much as the standard of the league is one of the best, if not the best in the world, the referees get away with a lot of things. And we see managers coming in, week out to say that in the press conferences that, maybe sometimes let's have these referees also come and face the press and explain some decisions to us. These are decisions that can cost team points, and when you cost team points, you are costing them money. It can be a fine line between relegation and winning the Premier League title. For example, let's look at last season, Everton Man City. Last minute, Everton had a clear penalty handball against Rodri. He went to VAR and VAR decided, no, that's not a penalty. At the end of the day, that simple course of action cost Liverpool the title. I wouldn't say, of course, 100%, but one of the reasons why Liverpool didn't get the title. And Arsenal fans can feel the same way if Man City close up the gap points between them and Arsenal in a couple of weeks. So these referees, they need to be under more scrutiny, in my own opinion. There's a clown called David Coote. He's a big clown. This man puts in terrible officiating performances week in, week out. I scrutinize his games personally, and he's clearly not good enough for the Premier League. But we still see these guys refereeing. See the guy that was dropped for today's game, Liverpool-Everton's game. Why is he not even given some time to go out, or maybe he has a psychological problem or something? Because there's no way they are missing those incidents. I watched the Arsenal game and also the Brighton game, including even the Chelsea game. There's no way you are in your right state of mind. You are sitting behind the room. The referee is on the pitch. He has his eyes all over. He's watching several things at the same time. But you in the VAR, your job is just to look at these incidents from a large screen with different camera angles. And you can't still do that job properly. So now Howard Webb is coming out to apologize. Before, it was Clattenburg that was in charge. They keep changing whoever is in charge of these referees, and we are still getting the same results. They can do better as an organization. So for me, these clowns behind VAR, they either need to be retrained, or they need to check their state of mind before they go into games, because there's clearly something wrong with them if they cannot see these simple and easy decisions that can cost teams. So we need to go back to the drawing board when it comes to VAR in England, and just go back to the drawing board and get things right from the beginning.
To quickly add to that, I'm sorry. To quickly add to that, one thing I must assure us that it's never going to go away. Okay, because we're dealing with human beings here, and human error is always going to happen. Okay, I just feel like I hope they can take a cue from the VAR at the World Cup. I think they need more bodies, because according to what I heard, it was only David Coote and maybe somebody else that was in the at Stockley Park that was in the room. I think you need more people, because if he had gone past him, if he didn't remember to draw the line or whoever that was there, I think if you had more bodies in there, surely somebody has to tell him to to draw the line. So I think they need to learn from the way VAR worked at the World Cup. For sure, VAR is not the problem; it's the officials behind it, that are the problem. So yeah, that's what I want to add.
I want you to talk about that VAR situation as well. I mean, it happened at Arsenal as well. The equalizing goal from Tony was disgraceful. I mean, how can they tell us they forgot to put a line? Maybe you say it more better than me. I mean, there is the VAR again problem.
Well,
it's causing this.
Yeah. A few weeks ago we were here, and when we talked about the scandalous decision made in the game between Manchester United and Manchester City, and my closing remark on that issue was, I hope we will not come back to discuss VAR issue again. But we are at it again. I hear this tagline, human error. And my response on the WhatsApp group yesterday was, are we in the 70s or in the 80s? Come on. VAR has been in the use for over 4 seasons now, if I'm not mistaken. So you can't tell me it is at this juncture that you begin to make human errors with technology. I'm sure nobody makes human error with using Twitter or using Snapchat. We all are accustomed to it. It's a technology. We use it. Technology rules. Technology rules in everything we do currently. Like my opening statement, as a solution architect that manages the server of a new generational bank, let's say in Nigeria, weekend, you saw that there were threats. Hackers were trying to hack into the server. And along the line, you're telling the owners of the business that you forgot to turn on the security feature of the server that manages an enterprise application used by the bank. Nobody will want to hear anything. You get punished. You get relinquished of a position. But this has happened over and over again, and we don't get to see punishment being leached out to these officials that make these same errors. Typical example, Lee Mason. Like you can see my inscription. Bravo to him. He did well. Not the first time, not the second time, and not the third time. Yeah, there are different conspiracy theories coming up saying he was born in Manchester United. Some was born in Manchester, sorry, and some said he was born in Bolton. Here and there. But you cannot tell me that this is human error. I think there is more to this, in my own opinion, in my own brain. I feel there is more to this, and I would like to exemplify this. With all due respect to the Nigerian League, if this had happened in the Nigerian League, what would we subject it to? Typical example, I'm a fan of Bendel Insurance. Meanwhile, they are still unbeaten in the NPFL. This same official, let's say official A, keep making horrendous. This is not even a mistake, it's a howler. There's a difference between a mistake and a howler. You're meant to do your job. You forgot to do your job. And forgetting to do your job, there has to be consequences that goes with it. There is no excuse. A lot of things are vested into the EPL. Emotions, money, time. A lot of people travel to the Emirates for the first time over the weekend to see Arsenal play. And they see such a horrendous, a preposterous, balderdash, absolute buckum. Let me use all the words. Atrocious, officiating. I was in my living room, and when I saw the replay over and over again, I was like, come on, this goal cannot stand. And I was surprised the goal stood. I was dumbfounded. I was surprised. But the thing here is, they keep doing this thing, and we keep hearing there is nothing we can do about it. If I were part of Arsenal board, what I'll be doing today, I'll be suing the PGMOL. Let there be deterrence. Maybe for the very first time, something should happen. Something drastic should happen. That goal was scored in the 76th minute, and they reviewed that goal for 4 minutes. The game restarted 81 minutes. Let's say 5 minutes thereabout. The game restarted 81 minutes. And I heard McDermott, the guy that always keeps coming out whenever there are issues like this on Sky, on BBC, on every channel, B Sport, BT Sports. He comes out to defend the referee. He said something, possibly he used one psychological word, possibly it wasn't in the vacuum or something. I didn't really understand because I lost interest when I was listening to it earlier today. So here it is. The issue keep reoccurring. Now, like Irit said, situations like this, the consequences are very, very enormous. This could deter Arsenal's position. I'm not saying that it will, but it could deter Arsenal's title credentials this season. Arsenal have worked so hard. Arsenal have worked their socks off. Nobody thought they could be in this position at this time. Yeah. And if you can pinpoint to 3 games from this same official, there is more to it. We don't want any apologies. We want issues to be resolved. If they are going to recall that match, for them to start at the 76th minute, play the remaining 14 minutes of that game, it's not going to be bad. I'm not saying they should take up the points from Brighton, but the thing is, there has to be example made of these guys. All that one that Wood Webb is doing, saying he's taking out this, he's taking out that, it's none of my business. It's not of my business, because if these guys know what they are doing, and you can't tell me they don't know what they are doing, it is not human error. This was intentional. You cannot tell me that you did not see that offside. He cannot tell me the goal he cancelled against Manchester United at Old Trafford, he didn't do it intentionally. He cannot tell me the officiating, the decision he was supposed to make against Newcastle, that he decided not to. You cannot tell me it's human error. Come on, enough of all this trash. We just keep going in cycles, and it will not go away. 16, 17 games to the end of the season. officiating will
I mean,
still be what we'll be talking about.
yeah, very quickly, I understand Oyi's pain. I mean, very quickly, I understand his pain, and for any fan, you'll be very furious with that decision. But what I want to say is this: if you look at it in the Premier League, it's not just Liam Mason; it goes around. You all remember the Rashford case against Man City that was an atrocious decision that should have been called. Yesterday I was watching also Chelsea. 2 days ago I was watching Chelsea in my living room. I was going mad when I saw that Thomas Suchek dived and didn't save the ball. So my point here is, I think somehow, somehow, it's sort of evens out at the end of the season. We all are going to face bad decisions. Chelsea will face it, City will face it, United will face it. Every club is going to face their own. It's the way it is. No, and they just have to improve. Look for a way to improve. But even if they improve to their best, what we mean by human error is they are still human beings at the end of the day. If some people say scrap VR, if they scrap VR, it means the decisions are we're going to have worse decisions taken, because these referees clearly need help. And no doubt about it, VR has improved the decisions so far. If you check the statistics, we've gotten more decisions correctly, but we still have these problems. They will improve on it. They have to improve on it, And yeah, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel.
All right.
Just to touch, sorry, Don. I just feel it is analogy like this that makes this thing keeps reoccurring. When I keep hearing this thing of saying things will even out, this has happened. See, VAR is a technology. The issue here is not VAR. The issue that happened in the Emirates is not an issue of VAR. VAR is just a technology to assist.
No. VAR is a human being now. Video assistant referee. He's a human being. I'm talking about the human being.
No, it is not.
I'm not talking about technology. I'm talking about the human being.
I'm just saying. Just let me make my point. VAR is not a human being. It's a technology.
It's a human being. No. There's a referee behind it. I'm talking about a human being behind it.
That helps the referees to make decision by what? Looking at replays in slow motions, because in football things happen in real time. Things happen so fast. So the VAR is a technology, just like the goal line technology. Goal line technology has been invented devoid of the human intervention or human operating it. Once the ball passed the line, the wristwatch bips. So it is also left to the referee to interpret whatever beep happens on his wristwatch. So the point here is VAR is just a technology being used by an official. And when we keep hearing issues like things even out, we will not get the solution. When we keep hearing issues about, that's the word, my own, I coin it, whataboutism. What about this? What about that? If that one happen, let's face the situation on ground and let it be tackled. If we keep going on and saying this one, that one, we'll not get solution. It happened to Arsenal. It happened to Brighton. And for the other decisions, like I said, it's a pity they didn't blow the penalty. But situations like this, they say in terms of handball, interpretation of handball, the rules have said it's subjective to the interpretation of the official on the pitch and also VAR. I didn't know why they didn't give that penalty to Chelsea, but for whatever reason they have to give, it's left for them. But we are talking about offside position. Offside position is not subjective. Offside position is objective. It is clear like daylight. We don't need anybody. We don't need anybody.
Otilo, brother.
Otilo. So let's do this. Kunle, yes, Kunle, I know you have a different opinion on this VAR, and I want the viewers to hear you. How you stand on this VAR. Your opinion, please, Kunle, about this issue of VAR. How do you see it? Because I see I'm saying it affect everybody. But how can they do better? How can they do better? You have to unmute your mic. I can't hear you. All right.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, let me put it this way. I would say this VAR is something fans asked for, right? Because there has always been this issue of controversial goals, right? And people were like, oh, football is the only sport where they don't use a video replay. a sort of video replay system to review things. They tell you that it is used in sports like rugby, it's used in American football, it's even used in tennis to determine if the ball is played in or out, where players challenge. They have challenge. It is used in basketball, it is only football. But I always said something that, look, and this is why I said I really don't want to engage in the debate, because when we debate on these things, it goes on and on and on, and we don't reach any conclusions, right? Is that football is built differently, and it's that, you see, football is actually built to thrive on these controversial things. For me, football, there is never going to be perfection in football. You see, in games like basketball, in games like tennis, there is virtual, let me say, at least up to 90% perfection when it comes to decision making, right? Because there are already certain things that you look out for, and it is as clear as daylight, right? No arguments and all. But you see, when it comes to football is the only sport where they will tell you that it is based on how the referee interprets it, because he has the sole discretion, this and that. That is where the problem comes. And that was why I said, if VAR is coming, maybe if VAR was just a pure AI thing, right? Where it is pure AI, where AI is the one interpreting it, like goal line technology, right? For goal line technology now, for instance, it's only maybe if there's a malfunction. But goal line technology, it is either going to tell you yes or no. This one, there is nothing for the referee to review in that. Yes. But when it comes to things like offside, was it a foul? No. It's going to be difficult for AI to determine that, right? And that is why it is always going to be open to interpretations from the referees. So I knew that from the moment VAR came, it is still going to be based on the subjection of what the referee saw. And the thing, and one of my own grouse with football is referees never give an explanation.
Absolutely.
As to why. Although they did it in the Club World Cup, where they trialed it, where they said for every decision that if the referee goes on screen, he will come out and announce on the decision and all. I know FIFA are the ones who have been trying to really, I think FIFA is trying to make the game more balanced. You saw what they did also with VAR, where they put a sensor in a ball, they put motion sensors in the ball, so that there's faster interpretation of events. You understand? And I think if we can see it, we could say the World Cup officiating was better, at least compared to other events and all. But you see this Premier League, I am sorry. This Premier League, this is my own opinion though. Premier League is built on controversy.
I tell you.
What is so funny about the Premier League is they will now go and bring all these retired referees. They'll come and do in-studio analysts during the game. Like, I don't know. I didn't follow the Chelsea game, but I imagine maybe there was a referee in that Chelsea-Arsenal game. He will now come and be giving his own analysis. And the funny thing is, what he might say might be different from what, But at the end of the day, it's just giving analysis. It's not going to change.
All right.
And those are one of the things I want to see. Like now, they said there was human error, right? Then please reverse it. But if you are not going to reverse it, then sorry, then there's no point. Because
all right, let me hear Robbie's perspective. Where are you standing with this, Robbie, in terms of VAR? Because it's a disturbing issue right now. Where are you watching from?
So let me try and make my summation as short as possible. It is tiring, it is annoying, it is disappointing, and it is just something that we should not be seeing at this time and age. We saw the World Cup a couple of months ago. We didn't have this kind of debate as touching was a player standing where did the ball touch, where did the ball not touch. If the ball for Thomas Tuchel was not a penalty, I don't know for those who saw the game between Portugal and Uruguay. Something very similar like that also happened. That got Bruno Fernandes the second goal. Was it a penalty or not a penalty? It was given as a penalty. The defender did not even see the ball. He just sat down on it with his hands. And the referee pointed to the penalty spot. Why is the one for West Ham, Chelsea that difficult to give as a penalty? Why is it that difficult? So hence why I said, yes, we've been speaking English left, right, and center. Things are not going to change, but let's just call it as what it is. That ball for me, any day of the week, any month of the year, is a penalty. As simple as that. For the Brentford Arsenal game, in fact, I still watch the replay even as of today, and I'll tell you that I don't understand. And I just believe that VAR has made referees very lazy. In the days of Colina, yes, things were not perfect, but those men worked their socks off to give us almost, let's say, at least 80-85% the best officiating in the days of Colina and Co. But this present time, referees just stroll to the field, in fact, not even willing or ready to do their job. They are at the back of the line, they're like, okay, there's one computer somewhere that will bail me out. So I feel personally that VAR has made referees very, very lazy. Leaving the issue happening in England, let us look at other leagues. We don't hear week in, week out issues like this in the Spanish league. We don't hear issues like this in the French league. We don't hear issues like this in the German league. We don't hear issues like this in other leagues across Europe. Just like Yoruba will say, EPL Nikani, what is the problem with EPL?
All right.
Week in, week out, you have issues with the VAR in the EPL. That is just my own sense.
Other leagues,
just a quick one. I feel the system is corrupt.
Yeah,
it's corrupt.
I think so.
And I say this with my full chest, and I raise my two hands up because I feel the system is corrupt, and I don't see why a particular team will get favored. Example, Don and Kunle, please don't come for me. Manchester United. You saw yesterday the goal they scored against Leeds United. The officials took their time to draw the line. So why is it so difficult? What reviewing?
No,
like I said, it is my opinion.
Hold on. You don't. So we can quickly move on. I think that is honestly that's not it. There's no corruption. I totally disagree with that because, like I said earlier, these false decisions happen to every team in the Premier League. Every team has faced the VAR problem. Okay, so let's put that away. There is no thing. There's not like one thing.
All right.
Every team has faced it.
Sorry, Don. I have my reason. You just don't hush. Come on, that's rude. I have my reason for saying what I said. Like I said before, he rushed into. You just listen. I said it's my opinion, and I stand by it. And you cannot just brush my opinion away. Everybody is opinionated, and when I say this, it's so clear, it's so obvious. Yes, everybody gets this bit of VAR. Now tell me, how many teams have gotten the bit of VAR this weekend? It's so easy. These officials too, they have teams that they support. There is a culture of football in England. We all know that. Every family has a team they support. So are you telling me as an official, like imagine if I was an official in England and Liverpool Tottenham is playing and such a decision happened, they know I'm an Arsenal fan. Automatically, they could say yes, because he's an Arsenal fan, he doesn't want to give Spurs that decision. So it is my own opinion, and I stand by it. And nobody should just dare say that should be put away.
All
Please,
right.
everybody's opinionated.
Yeah, I got you. I tell you, Irate, what's your lineup? At the moment, Liverpool is about to play Everton. What's the lineup?
Yeah, before I go to the lineup, I just want to say something quickly about what Ehis said. I don't think there's any corruption in the Premier League. Every team,
I don't understand.
Faces this at some point. And one thing they do before the season starts is that I know is they take into consideration, they ask the referees, where are you from and which team do you support? And they try their best to make sure that these referees are not put in the games of their cities of birth or the teams they support. So we won't have this kind of controversies. So, but at the end of the day, it's still going to happen. And it happens to every team. Everyone has had their fair share. the day it goes for you and the day it goes against you.
Who knows whether it's Liverpool's zone today? Who knows?
Well, who knows exactly? So we don't know whether it's our own. But talking about the lineup, it's really unchanged from the last game. Alisson in goal, back the disastrous combination of Joel Matip and Joe Gomez. And then we have Alexander Arnold and Andy Robertson as fullbacks. Midfield,
what about the midfield?
I don't understand what Klopp is trying to do here, but we have Fabinho, Henderson, and Bajcetic in midfield. It looks to me like three defensive midfielders in those midfield positions. Up front, we have Salah, Nunes, and Gakpo. So that
is Jota on the bench.
What about Jota?
Diogo Jota is on the bench. Van Dijk is on the bench. James Milner is on the bench. Naby Keita, Roberto Firmino, Avi Elliott, Diogo Jota. They are all on the bench. And for Everton, one surprising starter for me is this guy called Rico Slims. I don't think I've seen him play. Rico Sims is starting ahead of Neil Mope and Calvert-Lewin is injured. Okay.
Oh, it's the striker.
Yeah, the striker is the center forward.
All right, let's move on.
Just a moment. I'll just on this same VAR issue. You know, I am not saying VAR has not really helped. VAR has helped, but it's so simple. I don't know why some people just find this thing so difficult. Whoever is operating the VAR is a human being. And I'll take us back to 2005, the 49th game of the unbeaten season, the unbeaten run Arsenal had. And I'm posing this question to the Manchester United fans here. I'm sure you watched that game live. If VAR was to be around at that time, do you think Rooney would be on the pitch? Or do you think Gary Neville would still be on the pitch? It was so clear like daylight. It was so obvious that they wanted the unbeaten run to end. And the officiating that day was scandalous at the Old Trafford. That's one. And we see one that just happened recently, yesterday. So I understand the angle Irit is talking from, because Irit, at least you spoke sensibly. I understand that as compared to the other guy, Prof, just saying trash. I understand when you say there's no corruption. But if it's just your team that is at the end at every interval, and I just cited two serious issues: the 49th game of the unbeaten run, and also recently yesterday. And this same yesterday piggies back to the same decision that has been made by the same official. And you're telling me that there is nothing to hold on to. There is a lot to hold on to. I know it is not your team, and I know it is not Liverpool that has been affected, but we, the Arsenal fans, we're the one bearing the brunt here. We are the one that wears the shoes, and we know where it pinches. So come on.
All right.
If we come up with issues like this, or if we come up with assertion like this, we know what we're saying.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's move on. Champions League is back. Likewise, Europa is also back today. And I'm going forward. I'm going to look for also Europa. They're all back. Champions League tomorrow. PSG will be welcoming Bayern Munich. Also tomorrow, Milan also welcome Tottenham, and Club Brugge will be welcoming Benfica, while Chelsea is traveling all the way to, that'll be on Wednesday, to Borussia Dortmund. And that's it for tomorrow and on Wednesday. But for the game tomorrow, PSG Bayern. Also tomorrow, Milan versus Tottenham. Both games, the same time tomorrow, will be played. I think they are very important matches. And Kunle, can you quickly talk about the two games tomorrow quickly? That's PSG Bayern and also Milan Tottenham. You have to unmute your mic. I can't hear you.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry about
All
that.
right.
Sorry about
Only
that. Yeah.
what happen today now. Haba, now all day what do you do?
I don't know. Waiting.
We can't hear you before. Now we can hear you now.
Anyway, okay. So, anyways, yeah. So PSG Bayern, I think that is arguably the biggest That is
Yeah.
arguably the biggest tie of the round of 16. Well, but it's going to be a pretty sad one for PSG because I think they are expected not to have Messi and Kylian Mbappe in the starting lineup.
Sorry,
So,
sorry to cut you short, Kunle. PSG
or is
should stop playing mind games. Both of them are starting tomorrow. They are
Both
back in.
of both of them are
Both
fit.
at
Oh,
the same time.
both of them are fit.
both of them are fit. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So if we go with what Irate and Robbie have said,
Yeah.
then I guess it is. I guess okay, it will be an open game then. But let's be sure because I think they had already mentioned that they've missed. I think those two have missed games before this weekend, right? So we can't really be sure that it's mind games. I think injuries have actually affected these guys in the last couple of weeks, right? So but whatever it is, I feel it's going to be a very open game. I expect to see goals aplenty.
Yeah.
I expect to see goals aplenty from both ends. I mean, these are two very attacking sides. So definitely we're going to see a lot of entertainment, no doubt tomorrow. I think PSG is at home if I'm right, or is it Bayern?
Um.
Please, can
Hold
you
on.
put up? I don't know
Hold
who's
on
there.
a second.
Yeah.
Hold
Oh,
on a
okay.
second.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
PSG
Oh,
is
okay.
at home.
Okay. It's PSG. Okay, it's PSG. In this case, well, home advantage for PSG. But then, there's no away goal again. So I think this will
Yeah.
also make it. This will also make it. Open-ended, and I expect we're going to see that. Then for the big game on Wednesday, um, Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea, it's going to be an interesting one because I would want to say that these are two struggling teams at the moment. Borussia Dortmund are not flying high that much.
Only Borussia Dortmund are flying. They've not lost
They're
a game
fine.
this
Oh.
year. So
Huh?
they are
Ah.
not. They are far from struggling. They are scoring goals.
They're scoring goals, but they are not. But they are
They are
not.
not what? They are three. I think they are 3 points behind Bayern in the league. So what do you mean they're
But
struggling?
it's been up and down. It's been
Only is
up and down.
biased.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's been up and down. Okay, it's been up and down. It's not like as if they've been consistent. Okay, it's not like they've been consistent at all. If you look at their season very well, and I think it's the same thing with Bayern, right? So I wouldn't say they are flying high. Yes, they might be higher than Chelsea on the table, yeah, but it's been up and down for them. So I see this equally as an open game. Dortmund are an attacking side, right? And for Chelsea, goal scoring has been a problem for them for much of this season. So
It's
it's
gonna
really
be
going to
crazy.
be interesting to see what happens. What
Yes.
happens in this game. Is Chelsea probably going to go defensive, or is Dortmund going to have a field day and get some goals on board? We're going to wait to see that.
Yes. And let's talk about. Hold on. Let's talk about this. The Europa. The Europa also is back. That will be on Thursday. Manchester United will be going to. What's the name of this team? What's the name of this team that we are going to beat? Robbie, remind me now.
Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona. Yeah,
That will be an
That will be
interesting
tough.
tie.
Looking for trouble,
It's going to be an interesting tie.
that will be tough. That will be tough. Well, Casemiro is back, so we have nothing to be scared of. So, Prof, what about Chelsea going to? What do you say about the game? I mean, the
Yeah.
Champions League. It's
Just
going to
just
be
before
massive.
just
Not
before I
small.
speak, just before I speak about the Chelsea game, I want to quickly touch on a huge game that's going to happen on Wednesday. That would give a psychological
Oh my
advantage to
goodness, that is going to be
whoever
crazy.
who
Massive
wins.
game.
Yeah. I was expecting to see what City would do yesterday, and they were, for me, they were not back to their absolute best, but I saw an improvement. I said it earlier last week when we were on the show. If Pep, if he reduces the way he thinkers and goes back to his trusted players, his best players who have done it over and over again, I think I see him going on a run. And to what I expected was what happened yesterday. He came out with a very strong lineup. The exact players playing in the right positions. I expected Gundogan to sit with Rodri in what was a 3-2-4-1 formation. But Bernardo Silva was the one who dropped deep with Rodri, and then Gundogan went with De Bruyne, and they were very close to Haaland, with Grealish and Mahrez holding the width, and Walker playing as a third centre back. I think when City plays like that against a small team, because they are possession-based team, I think they are always very, very effective. And we saw what they did to Villa, dismantle them in the first half. I expect that lineup to change against Arsenal. I expect them to bring back Ake in the left back and go with the back four, but I expect them to go very strong with the strong players. There's an issue. I think there's a slight issue with Haaland. So Arsenal can be, they should pray that he's not fit enough. If they heard he might not play, but if he's fit enough, we expect Haaland to start. Now for the game itself, I think, like we said, like I've been saying, I feel it's a game. It's going to be a huge game for Arsenal, for both teams, to be honest, because Arsenal are flying, City are also chasing, so it's going to be a huge game. I think whoever wins doesn't necessarily win the title. I think it's going to be a huge psychological advantage. But it's advantage Arsenal. They have the points on board. They've been the better team this season. But one thing they must have going into that game is they must believe in themselves. This young group of players that they have, they've never done it before. They must believe that they can do it. They must believe that they must go in there with that game and think they can beat City, because City are, they're who they are. Once they smell blood, they're going to capitalize on it. And if City wins that game, it's going to be absolutely difficult for Arsenal to recover, because City are serial winners. So that is what I feel about the game. Arsenal's game against Brentford, just really put it out there. Yeah, we're speaking about the offside, but I think Arsenal should have cleared that ball. Arsenal, I have the statistics here. Arsenal have the lowest aerial duel in the whole league. They are on 42%, 42% in the whole league. They are number 20. So they don't take care of the aerial balls. They had 4 opportunities to clear that ball, to win the second ball, and they didn't. And it cost them against Everton as well. They must look at that. They must improve on the aerial duels. So yeah, that's what I want to say about the game against City. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, by the way. And whoever wins, like I said, has a psychological advantage. And going to the game against the Champions League game, Chelsea versus Borussia Dortmund, it will be absolutely difficult for Chelsea. There was a bar. Borussia Dortmund could not use over 61,000 fans, but now I think it's increased to 80,000 or thereabout. So we'll be facing the yellow wall, and it's going to be very, very massive. Chelsea obviously are lacking in confidence. It's going to be very, very difficult. I expect, like I said earlier, I expect Ben Chilwell to start. You don't have all our players at the moment in terms of the new signings. We had to reduce them to 3. We could only take Enzo, João Felix, and Modric. But notwithstanding, I expect Potter. Okay. Yeah, Otito, yeah, of course. No, I have no excuses. I expect Potter to go there.
Don't tell me you cannot score tomorrow.
No, we should. No, we should. We should be able to put in a good performance. We should be able to give, because that's the only route that we have. That's the realistic route we have to get into the Champions League. So Potter, for me, has no excuse. You have to attack the Champions League fully, and anything short of that, we're going to be very, very disappointed. You should at least get a draw from that match, because it's going to be a very difficult game.
Yes, quickly, we are going to talk before we move on to the African top player. This guy is our star player of the week. His name is James Maddison. He actually did very well in the game against, I think they played Sports over the weekend in EPL. That's our star player for the week. And also, for this massive game, Ehis, Arsenal will welcoming Manchester City. And you as an Arsenal fan, in this case now, scenario, you played all your 3 games now, you've not won the 3 games. Now, going into this game, how are you going to face it? How are you seeing it going into this game? It's a massive game. It's a massive game.
I've never seen an obsessed Arsenal fan as Prof, because you were asked of Chelsea Dortmund. And you have to talk about Arsenal Manchester City first. Seriously.
It's none of those things.
I understand. Some others do have them. But, like I said on Friday, this game is poised. It's poised. And we don't... Only if football was played on someone sitting at the back of the screen and talking, possibly a lot of teams would have won. But this game, there's a lot riding on it. And like I said, momentum is with Man City. Someone was discussing with me earlier today saying that the pressure is in Arsenal. But I asked a simple question. Don't you think the pressure is on Manchester City as well? Because Manchester City right now wants to topple Arsenal. So they have to come with the A game. You don't expect them to come to the Emirates and fold their hands and sit down and watch Arsenal. So the pressure is on them. And the Man City I watched yesterday, it was first brilliant in the first half and abysmal in the second half. Because I don't know why, for God's sake, what's his name? The coach of Aston Villa didn't start the way he turned up in the second half. Because if he had started, the players he brought in changed the game, and you could see Aston Villa were on the ascendant and possibly could have scored the second goal if Duran, or is that his name, the number 22, the boy played that hit the bar. Possibly, we don't know what that game would have been if he had started with the players he brought in the second half. But that's the decision, by the way. But now, Arsenal, Man City, like I said, I keep saying it. It is not fluke that Arsenal is where they are today. And it is not sheer luck. It's based on hard work, and it's based on the efforts they have put in. I don't want to say much about this game. I just want to sit and relax. But I know it's going to be a continuation of what happened at the Emirates last season. Dodgy penalty decision, and the game ended in favor of Man City. If Arsenal are to keep up with that momentum and play, and the players, they know that a lot is riding on this. They know they don't want that 3 points gap to turn to 0, because tomorrow when they play, Man City will be a game ahead. They will have a game in hand over Man City, and the game in hand is against Everton at the Emirates. Possibly win, and you're 6 points ahead of Man City. And going into March, possibly if you win your first game, is 9 points ahead. So there is a lot of permutation, a lot of combination. But what I just want to see from the Arsenal is, I know they will not give the performance they gave against Everton, and I know they will not give the performance they gave against Brentford, despite the fact that they tried, because Brentford is a very, 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 very tricky team to play. We saw the results that has happened against the top 6. They've taken points from the top 6. And with the way Brentford set up in the first half, and with the way Arsenal came in the second half and scored a goal despite the low block being set, I think it was a good one. And I know they are going to ride on it. We're going to forget about the decision. It's just we fans are still pained, but I know the players will move on because they know they have a big task ahead on Wednesday. And I'm so certain that it's going to be a lovely game to watch. And I see Arsenal taking this.
Wow, Arsenal is wow. Kunle, do you agree? This game, I mean, Arsenal versus Manchester City. What's your take on this before we fly into the Africa Player of the Team for the week? Unmute your mic. Yeah.
Well, right. for me, I think this game for me already has Arsenal written all over it. I don't know. Yes, I mean, there's going to be home advantage, right? And I think it's going to be massive. I don't know, but I mean, Arsenal have been on top of the table for so long, and this is like going to be arguably the defining moment for them, right? So I think that this is going to be what will determine their fate this season. And looking at it, I think Prof said it. Was it that City, despite their tactical change and all, we're not still really at their optimal best. Like, even though they scored 3 first half goals and all, but there's just still something about them that isn't just like the City that we know. And I feel that this is the thing that is going to give Arsenal the edge on Wednesday. It's all for them to make it count on Wednesday.
All right. Let's go straight.
I just want to say something real quick about the game on Wednesday. I remember the FA Cup fixture a couple of weeks ago where I said whichever team won has the psychological advantage. I mean, it might not matter a lot in the long run, but it is something to hold on to. And from the performance yesterday from City, you can tell that they were fired up after Arsenal drew that game against Brentford. They know if they win that game on Wednesday, they are going top of the table. Probably for the time being, till Arsenal plays their outstanding game. But since the game in the FA Cup, I think Arsenal have lost to Everton and drawn Brentford. And right now, I would say, for me, Man City might be they might be in a better shape than Arsenal right now, going into the Emirates for that game. I know there will be home advantage, which will count, but I don't see City losing that game. I think the
What do you mean better shape? What do you mean better shape, Irit?
What do I mean? What
do you mean by
what,
better shape?
What he meant is that a team has lost 3 on the bounce. That's what he meant by better shape.
Oh, a better shape.
Has not won 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking
what do you
about
mean
like
by better shape?
in terms of results and performance. That's what I mean by better shape. And going by performance in the last 2 games, even though City, they lost to Tottenham 1-0, but since that game against Man City in the FA Cup, like I said, something has been wrong with Arsenal. Arsenal has not been the same.
But Iris, despite Man City winning the FA Cup clash between Man City and Arsenal, in their run, haven't they lost?
Yeah, they've lost. They've lost 1 game.
So does that now define because Man City lost? And you know the loss they had against the L they took against Spurs was even disastrous, was shambolic. I hope you know that because it was a woeful performance that they put up at the London Stadium. Did that distort anything?
Yeah, but looking
in the camp of Man City.
Yeah, of course it distorted something. But if you look at the game over this weekend, like we say these things, when it comes to momentum, you are looking at your last game. And I could tell from their performance yesterday, they turned up, the whole stadium turned up. They feel like, everyone is against them due to the charges that has been brought up. And they wanted to deliver a statement, which they did yesterday. It wasn't just about the result. The performance was outstanding. And I'm telling you, Arteta and Arsenal players are furious about decisions. Man City are coming with excitement. Rodri and Bernardo Silva.
I stand to be corrected. I just feel football don't work that way.
Like I said, it could go either ways. But honestly,
today now, you're rooting for Liverpool to win against Everton. Liverpool has been on a bad form.
I'm not rooting for Liverpool to win against Everton.
No, even if you don't say it publicly. Even if you don't say it publicly, down within you, you want Liverpool to win, or you think Liverpool.
Of course, I'm a fan. Every fan thinks that way. Even an Ipswich fan who want to win against Real Madrid.
Kunle leave them. Kunle leave them.
See, like I always say, there is no hard and fast rule to this. I keep saying this. There is no hard and fast rule to this. Manchester United, for example, they were on the momentum. They came to the Emirates. They took the L. Did that change anything? It didn't. They still went on. So it was a blip. And for me, I just feel Arsenal fans shouldn't get into panic mode at all. Everton game, the Brentford game, they gave a good performance. Like I mentioned, Brentford, their game against Manchester United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man City this season. Go check the record. And for Arsenal to have, do you imagine the low block they set, the formation they use, the tactics they use? Any team could have fallen for that tactics and they could have picked the W there yesterday. But for me, I feel it was a great performance by Arsenal, not relenting and even scoring a goal.
So you remember last season, Arsenal put up one of the best performances at the Emirates against Man City and conceded 2 goals in how many minutes towards the end of the game. So, you could say that was last season, but you guys were also on a good run at that time.
Shady penalty. They're all in the mix in there. For me, I just feel that game against Man City last season, it's like a ride on to what we are doing currently this season. And for me, like I said, football, 90 minutes, when you cross the line, it depends on the attitude they bring in. And like I said, there is no hard and fast rule to say because Man City is in form or because Man City won the FA Cup clash, they have a psychological advantage. It doesn't work that way. Arsenal's performance against Everton and Brentford was just a blip, and they will overcome it. And this Man City game is poised, and that is the opportunity for us to come back to win that game.
So just to add to what Iris was saying, I mean, when I started my conversation about the City game, I said that Arsenal must believe, and it's very important. Football is not just what people see on the pitch. There's a lot of psychology that goes into it. It's utmost naivety to think that there's no psychology in football. utmost naivety. And so to say that, look at Man City against Aston Villa last season. They were 2 goals down on the final day of the championship. The Brenner pull up his socks. The boys rallied round. They had it in them. They to come back to that game. Yes, it takes a lot of strong mentality to be able to pull that off. And these boys have it in them. And Arsenal is no match when it comes to that. That's why I said they must feel like they belong there. They haven't done it in 2 decades. They must go into the game against Man City feeling like they can do it. Because once one drop of confidence, once City feels that they don't feel confident enough to attack that game, these boys are going to capitalize on it, and they are going to chew Arsenal up. That's the fact. So Arsenal must go there with some belief, go to them and make sure that believe that they can win the game. Exactly, because Pep has already created a siege mentality. They are using everything now that is going on to their advantage, as far as I'm concerned, and that's why they're fired up.
Smash the like on the video for this game coming up on Wednesday, and also smash the like on the video for the Champions League that is back. Likewise, Europa League. Because of our time, we will be able to discuss about Manchester United. I think I'm playing as well too on Thursday. No, next week.
No, the Europa League fixtures is a qualifier for the next round.
Of
us that finish first. Yeah, of us that finish first. Yeah.
Kunle, don't worry, leave them alone.
They can have the Europa League. Don't worry, they can have it.
We don't mind. Also, today on number 10 for this week is Dennis Udogie of Nigeria, who plays in Italy. He scored a goal in Udinese 2-2 in Serie Sassuolo. And also number 9 for this week is of DR Congo, who scored a goal in Braga 2-1 Portuguese Premier League win over Matimo. And also going forward, number 8 for this week is our main man. This main guy is number 8. Last week he was number 1, but this week he scored a goal in Napoli 3-0 win over Cremonese. And moving forward, also our main guy as well for Lani Balogun. I think he plays for Arsenal or something. He's on loan. And this guy is on fire. He's on fire. I swear down, this guy is on fire for Lani Balogun, who also scored yesterday. And also Mendy of Senegal, he scored a goal in Leicester City win over Tottenham. And also number 5, Aneba of Tunisia, who scored a goal and provided an assist. 2-0 championship win over Bromwich Albion. And also number 4, Riyad Mahrez, who scored a goal and provided an assist. I want to tell you, Ehis, watch out for this guy. This guy is on fire. Watch out for this guy.
I feel Osimhen, he should be in number 8 and Osimhen should be in number 4.
I think so. I think so for you.
Come on, it was a penalty now. Rodri, they were even fighting. We were fighting with Rodri. So it wasn't.
So number 2 is good to for Ekele Iheanacho of Nigeria. He played a very good game. Also, who scored a goal and provided an assist in Leicester City win over Tottenham Hotspur. Number 2 for this week, Brahimi of Algeria, who scored a brace in OG's knees win over Ajaccio. Kunle, I hope right along. Just how do you pronounce this? Is this Ajaccio?
Yeah, Ajaccio. Just call it Ajaccio.
And also our number 1 for this week, because of our time, his name is Nathan Teller. Kunle, can you please talk about this guy? Nathan Teller, quick one.
He's on loan from Southampton, and he has really been very effective for Burnley. Burnley currently top the championship, and this hat-trick he scored was the first career hat-trick of his career. He has never scored a hat-trick before now. Now he has 12 goals in the championship. He is, I think, 3 goals behind Chuba Akpom, another Anglo-Nigerian and former Arsenal player who is also lighting up the championship with Middlesbrough. This guy is a bundle of talent, and with the way things are going, if he continues like this, Burnley are definitely coming back to the Premier League next season, and they will do that by winning the championship.
Yeah,
Vincent Company is doing a lot of good work.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely.
100%. He is.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this is how far we can go. I tell you, it's been a fantastic outing today. It's been fantastic. I want to tell you, all of us, all eyes on this game on Wednesday. I swear down, I have to do what I want.
3 points in the bag.
Haters will hate.
Haters will always hate. Haters will always hate, man.
Same time next week. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, Kunle, thank you so much. All right, Prof, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Irate, as well. Yes, this is how far we can go. But lastly, let me show you guys what we have in stock any moment from now from our station, from our side, ISTV Sports for Taste, with this main woman, Euphoria, in the building. Thank you so much, guys.